added one triggers in my book. I will just create some variables, just define the variables. So, one is department. So this time I will define one email ID as well so that I can add that email values in that email ID variable. So yeah, this is what switch node we added. So in that switch node, we have given the four case values. One is IT, then HR, finance, and department not supported. So if the user has given any of these values and if get matched, so in that particular node, in that particular values, it will go like further. If that out of these three IT, HR, and finance, if there is other than these three values, then it will automatically go in this fourth department not supported. So to check and run this, again, we have to set variables like whatever we have defined that variables, we have to set that. So again, we will use the set variable nodes here. So here we have defined two variables. So department will be entered by user. So here from triggers, we can give department and email ID. Here I will. So here we have set the variables as well for that two which we have defined earlier. So this is how switch node is it work here. If we want to add any other thing, like in if it goes inside the IT, then what should happen? For example, we can add different nodes as well. So simply I will add email node for now so that we will have for testing purpose also we will get to know like it is going inside that branch or not. So test email. So here I can instead of writing hard code recipient, I have created that email ID dynamically. So instead of writing my name, I will just give email ID. So same thing will happen and subject will write IT department and in email template also we can write anything. So from context, I just chose this department what user will enter and for I will add one email for this. We will try to check this in debug mode. So we have to provide the department because we have created as a webhook trigger. So for now, I will give IT. So here in that switch case node, it will check that expression, what values I have given, and it will check with the below case values. So now it's working. So I have given the department value as IT. So now it will go inside that switch and it will check with that case expression. So if it is matches with that below values, whatever we have added, so based on that, it will go in the next flow. So how it worked, like it start with the input, then it got set variable. In department, it got values got assigned here, and then it checked the case expression what user has entered. And the next thing it went to the IT no in branch, and whatever the next step was there, it performed that. So now it went to that email, and I will receive that email like in this is IT department and whatever the template we have added. And if a user will give other than that three expression, for example, I will just give PLM. It will check that case value is PLM is present or not. So it has not performed any other steps in that. It will not go in that. It will go directly to that this one department not supported, and it will show us that email. So this is how the switch workflow control is. Then I will create one. So now I have created one more workflow agent. So in this we will see the loop workflow control, how loop workflow control works here. So you might all know in the programming language, again, we have a loop function like to repeat a set of actions again and again. So that is the same thing here also in the low code approach. And it runs the same steps again for the time. And yeah, it will just process all the data from certain data or certain list values. So to create that loop node, again, we have to go to that plus sign while after creating this workflow agent, and we will go to this loop. So after creating this loop node, we have here collections. Collection is nothing but like what you are adding here, from which list of values or from where it should iterate that loop. So we have to add that in the collection tab. So to add that again, we have this context. So from which list of items or from which things we have to iterate over as a loop. So that thing we have to add this collection. So to first get list values, so what we will do, we will first create we will first use business object function to get the all the list of items. So from that list of items, we will iterate over the loop node using the loop node. So first we will create one this business object node to get the list of all the items, and then we will test that loop function. So I will use this test all work orders. So what this business function will do is this will give us all the work orders present in the system. So I will just create this business object node. And we one thing we have missed here is like we have to give the output here, like what output we will get in which format we want or what in which name we want. So on that day also I said like we will get all the items in the array format. So we will select the data type as an array, and all the list of items will be get stored in this particular items variable, and then we will update. So this is how business object node I have created again. So after creating this business object node, we will get all the list of items. So how we will get, I will show you here. So for example, in Postman, I have given a work order resource path. So in the items, we have all the items. I mean, all the work orders is there in this particular node. So we will get this type of output in these items that will get stored here. So now if we have to iterate that item step, means if we have to iterate this and fetch some of the these values. For example, we will get work order ID. So whatever the work order ID is present in this particular items, we want that. So for that, we will use the loop node, because this is not for any specific work order. Like this is a general work orders, like all the work orders is present in these items. But we want only the work order ID for all the work order which is present in the system. So for that, we will use the loop node. So after creating this business object function and we have set the output in the items, now we will create the workflow control loop. We will loop that, we will iterate that items value, whatever the output we got, and we will fetch the work order ID for all the work orders present in the system. So we will just write, and here we have to give the collection from where this loop should iterate, in which what is the collections. So all the test values we have to provide. So from this node BO, whatever the output we have in the items, we have to provide that name here. Right? So I will just simply write here manually. Context. Items. So this is what collection I have given. Output items, it will iterate in this collection. And we have a processing mode, sequential or parallel. So we will go with the sequential one. Like one will complete, then it will go to the next set of values. So we have two types of processing mode. So I have selected that sequential, then we will click on create. So this is how loop node will come up when we create the loop node. We just have created loop nodes. We have given the set of values like in which it should iterate. So now what values we want it to iterate? Like I said here, like for example, we will ask them to fetch the work order ID for us. So all the work order ID is present in the system. So inside this loop, we have to give what we have to do, like what we have to fetch from that using the loop. So we will create this one more node as a code node. So in this code node, we have to give, this is another new node, that is a code node. And this code node is used for to give any expression in the coding format. If we have to write any of the thing in the coding format, then we can use this code. Like we can write some HTML here. We can write for loop code format like in C language, in Java language. So for that, this code will work. So I will just give simple code here to fetch the work order ID. So for that, we will use code node, and return type will be the string. And what I will do, I will just from here, we can go to the context in that loop one nodes. We will ask them whatever the current item it will fetch. From that current item, we want only the work order ID. So I have just written this source code. What does it mean, right? From the loop, in that loop, when it will iterate, there will be the current item. So from that current item, we want it to fetch the work order ID. So this is how some coding format we can write it here. If we want, we can HTML for loop or other things also we can write in this code node. So I will just click on create. So this is a loop node. In that loop node, every time when this will work, every time it will go inside this code format. And after going inside that, it will provide us the work order ID for each current items. Okay, and if we want the data, if we want to see the data, then again we can add one more email node so that all the work order will be directly get sent over the email ID. Email. And here, if anything we have to write, we can write or directly from the context expression, we can just give the expression to get the output and add from the this loop node. I will just create. So this is how loop node get like from some items we have list of items to iterate over, and then that items we will give it to the loop as a some collections, and in that collection it will iterate, and every time it will fetch that whatever we will ask in this code, and we will get the output from in the email. Or if we have other nodes, then we can give other nodes based on our requirement. I will try to run this agent. So simply I have invoked this. So how it worked, again it started with the input, then it directly went to the business object function to fetch all the work orders from the system. So this is the output, like whatever we got here in the postman, same output we will get. And after that collection of items, it will go inside this loop. See the if you see this collection and all the same output from the above event, and in that we will try to fetch only the work order ID, and it in the email we will have this. So if we I will check the emails, so see all the work IDs here it came like work order ID it will have. Now currently we will have only the first 25 email sorry 25 work order ID. So for remaining, if we want more work order ID, then we will need to do the pagination thing, like to set off, like to show how many more values we want. Like current limit is 25 here if you see. So if we have to want more, then we need to do the pagination thing. So that from that pagination we can have a more values. So we can iterate and we can get all the details using the loop node. So this is an example of loop node and how we can use that. Any doubt to anyone in this?
No need.